friends and colleagues, welcome back to school. If you could please join me in welcoming BHS senior Julia Larson.
Thanks, guys. Hello, teachers, everybody. Welcome back to school. I'm going to play a song that really doesn't have anything to do with school. I'm going to play a song that I wrote, and it's called Walk the Earth. Oh, I've seen the clock tower when the moon was high, but I've never seen something like you. Oh, I've seen the ocean at high tide, but I've never seen something like you. If I could walk the earth and back again, just to get these minute hands out of my brain, won't you tell me, are you laughing or are you crying? 'Cause it all sounds the same, it all sounds the same. Oh, I've heard the river turning to a stream, but I've never heard something like you. Oh, I've heard the thunder rolling in the east, but I've never heard something like you. If I could walk the earth and back again, just to get these minute hands out of my brain, won't you tell me, are you laughing or are you crying? 'Cause it all sounds the same, it all sounds the same. Oh, I've found the treasures lying in the deep, but I've never found something like you. Oh, I've found the treasures lying in my sleep, but I've never found something like you. If I could walk the earth and back again, just to get these minute hands out of my brain, won't you tell me, are you laughing or are you crying? 'Cause it all sounds the same.
And I'm not sure if you heard that clearly at the beginning. That's a song that Julia said, here's a song I wrote. That's pretty incredible. So thank you again, Julia. You're really a great reminder of the incredible talents of the kids that we will have the chance to work with this year. So again, thank you very much. One more time for Julia, please. Thank you. Thank you. So once again, welcome back to all of you. Please join me in welcoming our Board of Education, Alumni Association leader, Mary Jane Link, and Allie Thayer, BHS Executive Council President. We are so excited and ready to begin. As I've said to you in years past, and I deeply believe, because of the fact that you build on greatness every year, I'm sure that as we start the school year, this will be our greatest school year yet. So special thanks to the many talented staff members who have been outstanding once again in preparing for the opening of school. We know that the student experience and the professional experience for each and every one of us is what it is because of our staff in the following departments and areas: clerical, buildings and grounds, technology, audiovisual, human resources, food service, and transportation. Thank you very much to all of them for all their work in preparing for the year. I think it's also important for all of you to know that given Doug Ackert's retirement, this was our first year with the new leadership structure within the buildings and grounds area. Rob Luce and John Novelli have taken on additional leadership responsibilities, and they are doing an excellent job. I had the opportunity to walk through the buildings last week, and I have to tell you, I don't think they have ever looked better as we prepare for the opening of school. So thanks to both of them as well. I'd like to take a moment also to specifically thank Lisa Hartman, Christopher Schneider, Mike Leaner, Nicole Vandermeed, Eric Gruner, Dan Goldman, Nadine and Emmy Lou Dykes, and of course Kim Lanzafame for their help all of the time, but especially in preparation for today. Incidentally, Kim began working with Debbie and I this past May. I really hope each and every one of you get the chance to meet Kim. She has brought great warmth to the position in addition to great skills, and in just a few short months has made a big difference. And she's still willing to work with both Debbie and I, which is great. So thank you to all of them for their work too. I'd also like to thank our leadership team, Lou, Debbie, Carolyn, and our Board of Education for their work throughout the summer and the year. I'm so appreciative personally and on behalf of the district. So it's interesting, when I reviewed my notes from last year and I was thinking about this morning's presentation, I noted an item about how excited we were to jump into new transportation practices. And then we weren't so excited. I was also thinking about water, specifically lead and water. And then I went really dark and recalled our public discourse about inequitable distribution of state aid. And I thought, wow, those would be uplifting topics for opening day. We had a few bumps in the road for sure, but I did want to make an important point about those bumps. Sometimes I think it's just as important to measure the success of an organization during challenging moments as it is when things are going really, really well. And at the end of the day, these situations I think were handled very, very well, overcome in different ways because of everyone in this room and our colleagues that are not traditionally a part of this program this morning. They were handled with expertise, care, integrity, transparency, and commitment to getting better. But they were accepted and understood by the community because of the trust that each of you build with families and with children each day. Really, people had faith in the system and they accepted the current status and the commitment to getting better because of those relationships that you established, because of everything that happens every day in your classrooms. They gave the benefit of the doubt and they were willing to listen because of all you do to go above and beyond for their children. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And here's to all of you. Welcome back again. So, here we are again. This is my lame excuse to just show you pictures of my kids. But I did ask them for advice going into the school year again, tortured them once again. And Peter, we'd start there, unreal that he's going into high school. The first time that I spoke to you like this, he was just going into second grade. And I know for some of you it feels like you've been sitting here ever since, but he was just going into second grade at the time. And I think he's thinking about this advice a little bit differently now. We went to an out-of-town wedding last weekend with, best friends from college, people that we've been close with for 20 years. And we came home and we were telling the boys and Emma how excited we were and how nice it was to spend this time with our friends and, reconnect with people. And Peter, I don't know if this is just a high school thing, but he jumps right in. Oh, so it was great to relive your glory days and make poor choices again. Really regretting some of the conversations we've had in our house. But it wasn't that he said and maybe make poor choices. He said it with such certainty. I wondered well, what does he know? I mean, not that I ever made any poor choices. Mark, Julian, board, I promise you. But this was remarkable. But then he just finished with very kind, tell the teachers to keep being awesome, which I thought was very, very sweet. He's lobbying for grades early. Charlie, on the other hand, instead of saying just tell them to keep being awesome, he wanted me to remind you that students are still awesome. It's a very different approach from the middle child going into sixth grade. And then he gave me a list of do's and don'ts, which I probably should not give you all of them, but they started with, well, just tell them maybe, they could take a chill pill, which I thought that expression went out when I was his age, but apparently it's still there. And then he went on, with, all sorts of different things, like don't get too frustrated with us. And I had to stop him because I thought there was like this thin veil between his advice for you and what he was really trying to say to me, perhaps about our relationship. So Emma, though, our favorite child, and yes, we say that often to the boys in front of them and explain that. They seem to have accepted that, at least for now. She said, well, just tell them that I like jelly beans in your office, which you have nothing to do with, and chocolate milk fountains, which I didn't know we had, apparently. I knew we put new ones in, but I didn't know they had chocolate milk in them. And tell them they can help when building blocks fall down. Oh, to be 4 years old and going to preschool. Like, those are your number one concerns. But I did ask other people as well, and thank you for letting me share pictures of my kids, or as we like to call them, see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. At least at home. These poor kids. I did get some other great advice, though, from some kids in the neighborhood, in fact, even some of yours. One parent wrote back to me, quote, "This was a fun discussion at dinner tonight. We will spare you the ones that involve candy and fewer tests." Thank you. Our kids both agreed that they really liked when teachers incorporated games in the learning, and our daughter suggested that teachers do more assigning of partners because there are always people that don't get picked, which is sad. She pointed out that this suggestion does not apply to lab partners because that is too important. So in other words, it's so important that the kids should be able to pick their own lab partner and not leave that up to you, apparently. This one was great. One parent wrote that an older sister suggested that her younger sister's teacher be given earplugs. To which the younger sister quickly replied that the older sister's teacher should be able to cover her sister's mouth with duct tape. And the teachers should help kids be nice and not mean, which I thought was ironic after what she had just said about her sister. Another said, don't talk too much. Don't talk too much about big tests. Tell them they will do great on them. Dogs do eat homework. Don't pick favorites, we can tell. And these are great. Lay down the law and have parties. So there it is, lay down the law and have parties from the same child. Not a bad mix. But in all seriousness, if we just go back to that kind of bleak opening I mentioned and think rather about all of the things that did go so well in the district, not those things, but the things that did go so well and that have for so long, we can really build upon those things going forward. Our graduation rate, again, was sky high. Our August rate is now up to 98%. Our kids ranked highest of the 400 districts considered upstate in their SAT scores. And this is you. This is what you do. You get them to that place, and that's pretty incredible work. So thank you for that. Last year when we had a pretty ugly racial incident, what did you do? You came together, you created a dialogue, you recommitted to the messages you have always sent around not just tolerance, but acceptance and appreciation for those who may be different than the majority in some way. This, folks, this is where I think we have such a great responsibility, and it's something to really think about going into this year. I also think it's where you are your best. So thank you for that, but I also want to bring up this area of incredible importance and keep thinking about it. Please take a moment to think about our work in making the world a better place, in promoting civility, kindness, and acceptance, and let's watch a brief video clip together around this area.
name is Rylan Michael Lincoln. I'm a transgender kid. I love the blues transgender kids. I am 6. I'm a cool kid. I have a sister, her name is Brinley. I was good on her boy. My mom and dad knew maybe who I want to be. I'm the happiest I ever been in my whole life. Thank you to my parents who are in jail. Thank you to Harvey Love for helping the world be a better place.
Many of you may not know that our school has become a destination for transgender students and their families. They have found a home in your classrooms and love in your embrace. They have found acceptance in your hearts and kindness in all of you have done to value them for who they are as human beings. I show this to you. Rylan is not a student here, but you have done this for so many kids just like Rylan. I want you to see that impact and be thanked for what you have done for so many kids. And we're living in a time where this is not the case everywhere, and public discourse is focused on what divides us rather than what brings us together. That will only increase as November approaches. Let us continue to be a place, though, where we come together as one, care for our fellow human beings, and promote kindness and acceptance above all else for everyone, the transgender community, and everyone who is different sometimes than the majority. So again, thank you for that work, and thank you for thinking about that as we begin this school year. So I've been thinking also about this idea of great starts and how you touch the future in different ways, and how you're literally impacting the future with your work, and how lives can be shaped and the future generations impacted. Looking into the eyes of young people and thinking about the great places they will go and the impact that you will make. In fact, let's look into the eyes of some young people and think about what somebody did to them, for them as young people. This is interesting. These are young people once impacted by educators as well. It's really impressive when you know exactly who this is, too. There we go. Once shaped by educators. You have no idea how many politically incorrect pictures my parents forwarded to me for this presentation that I decided were not appropriate to show you. By the way, that's Nate Merritt, our new athletic director. I'll introduce in a minute, but if you have no idea who he is, what random picture did he throw in there? Now you should know something about the next couple of pictures. This is what Rob sent originally, and then this is what Rob sent a little bit later. But for the other two people that he works with on his team, they didn't have the opportunity to send in their actual picture. But teammate that he is, Rob tried to help them out. That's right. I'm sorry, Betsy, it's stuck. I did not even know that hair was in, Mike. Matt Como looking very philosophical at a young age. Thank you all for being good sports. So think of those young eyes that you'll be looking into this year.
We asked Brighton students, what makes school great for you?
Council Rock is a fun place where you get to learn, play, basically do fun stuff. It's a really fun school. It's like everything is the best. The teachers, the principal. The teachers are really nice. They make it extra special. If you would like to be an artist, there's art. If you would like to be in the Olympics, there's gym. If you would like to sing like a star, there's music.
Council Rock's a great school because
Science,
math,
fractions, reading, music, art, and library. All the cool field trips that we do, extended studies. I like math a lot. We get homework and we can be smarter. Okay. Like, usually school's a little boring to a lot of kids, but our teachers at Council Rock make it a lot of fun.
they really are not serious about stuff a lot of the times.
I really like Council Rock because when we have science, we get to keep real animals in our classroom. We once made a light bulb light up with just a battery, a rubber band, and a copper wire.
I like that we have teachers to teach us.
And it's like really weird because like one, they have fun teaching us, and two, we have fun when they're making learning fun.
They teach a lot of different things that are really fun.
School, we wouldn't be smart.
Yeah, that is true.
I think Council Rock's a great school because there's lots of nice teachers that help you in different things. Well, I enjoy it because I get to learn stuff and I can always learn something new. It's a really great school and there's a lot of nice teachers.
It's the best school.
Council Rock's a great school.
Yeah.
I love Council Rock.
I like French Road because there's lots of different cultures and activities that we can do.
I like the experiences that I have, and I like learning new things.
You're learning new things and you're experiencing new experiences.
The teachers and the work we do is always fun.
They don't just say, "Now take out your books to page 30.
You really get to understand about
What you're learning?
Yeah. It's a really good learning environment, and they make it fun.
Raising your hands for things you got wrong or things you don't know. People won't be like, wow, that kid doesn't know anything.
All of my teachers have been great. In kindergarten, I had a great teacher all the way up until 5th grade. They're always just so supportive of everything you do.
They're here to help you. They're not doing anything to hurt you or make you dumber or anything. They're just trying to help you.
They support you and they don't really pressure you. They say it's okay if you get it wrong. That means you're learning sometimes.
Fries, it's so warming.
The teachers and the people at all the schools kind of just make it so that it becomes like a home.
I love art so much. Yeah, my favorite is definitely art. I also really like writing and ELA stuff.
I was my favorite. I love that we get to play instruments and that's so cool.
Playing the violin really helped me with math. And it helped me understand fractions really, because there are different lengths of the different notes. If I had gone to a different school, I probably wouldn't be as intelligent as I am now.
Yeah. In the future, I'll look back on this and say this actually helped me a lot.
I really liked French Road, and it was an awesome experience for me.
I really like the teachers here.
It's really nice that we have someone preparing us for the future.
What makes school great is being able to talk to my teachers if I need to whether I need help or I just want to talk about my weekend.
Everyone is very welcoming, and that it's a really nice district with a lot of different opportunities for everyone.
Well, I like how there's a bunch of different teachers and how they all work together.
I think they've definitely got me prepared for high school. They give me the right amount of homework. if I need any extra help, them working hard to help me get that extra help I need and getting stuff done and making sure that my grades are up high and that I'm doing well.
The teachers are great. They'll work with you independently. They spend a lot of time and they make a lot of opportunities for us to get help.
They know what they're doing and stuff. I can tell they prepare for a lot of stuff. Some stuff is hard, some stuff is easy, but they're just here to teach you things that you never learned before.
If there's something that you want to do, there's probably a program that you can do it in.
Well, I really like all the sports and clubs, all the options they have.
This athletics program here is amazing, top-notch, helps you connect with other people.
They create a lot of opportunities for younger kids to be involved in some high school activities.
There's sports and there's clubs for like everyone, and everyone's like open.
Well, there's a lot of diverse people, and including teachers and students.
Oh, our teachers are really, really good. I really like our teachers.
I think the teachers have encouraged me to kind of step out of my comfort zone to try new things.
They really seem to like what they're doing, and I think that's also important because it shows the students to work hard and achieve something.
Shout out to all the teachers who get up super early in the morning and drive to school for us, because they just love to see our smiling, happy faces at 7:30 in the morning.
What makes school great for me? Getting my questions answered. Okay, coming in full of curiosity and having a teacher that is just exuding the answers and posing questions for me to ask myself. That's what makes school great.
When I was younger, I thought teachers were just teachers and that they weren't actually people, but when you see them, especially outside of class, they're real people and they've been through the same things that you've been through. And that's just such a huge inspiration to me.
And I still remember my teachers from like kindergarten and first and second grade and how they impacted me now, so that's really cool.
Mr. Vigdor taught me how to speed walk.
Fun fact.
All the teachers just want you to do your best, and they want to push you to your greatest limits so you can be the best that you can be.
A lot of them will push you. They will push you and they will be hard on you, but that's what you need. You need people to push you because you can't have people just telling you that you're great all the time.
I got this opportunity that I would have never gotten. I'm going to college. I'm the first to go to college in my family, so something like Brighton has given me so much, so much better of an education that I could have ever gotten in the city, so that's why Brighton is special to me.
Brighton is a great school for me because it's really diverse and there's a lot of different opportunities throughout high school and like middle school and French Road, where you can get involved in a lot of different things and find out who you are and what you like.
Brighton's such a good place to go to school because of its inclusivity. I know that at a lot of different schools sometimes things can be really cliquey and people are afraid to branch out from their social groups.
There's absolutely no way that a single person can be excluded here. And I really have the teachers, Dr. Hall, and the students here to thank for that.
I've learned so much, and I'm so glad that I came to Brighton because I can't picture my life any different than how it played out here, and I'm so lucky that my mom was like, hey, let's get her an urban suburban.
In school, you're gonna get like great teachers who know what they're doing and who will help you, and like, you know, we have great theater teachers, we also have great science teachers, we also have great like sports coaches. Like, there's just, everywhere you go, you're gonna get a great experience.
There's a lot of support from teachers, especially if you go to the right ones, and a lot of push for you to be your best self and to excel in areas that you're good at or maybe you didn't think you were good at.
They're such great teachers. They have very strong curricular standards for us, but they're always so supportive, and the faculty is also very kind. In my opinion, at least, I don't only see them as teachers or mentors, but I see them as family members and friends.
They're always there for you. It's not always for academic purposes. Sometimes you just want to talk to them about life, or maybe you're going through something, but they're always there for you as a friend, a role model, a teacher, and just somebody to give you really good advice.
I'm so grateful that everyone cares so much about their job and about the kids to be able to give people experiences like Izzy and I have had. And we can't thank you enough for making us the people that we are today.
It's so much bigger than you think it is. It's so much bigger than you see just in your classroom. Like, when we leave, we make such a big impact on the world. I know personally I will. Like, I might have just started off as like a student here, but I know that one day I'm gonna be a world-known surgeon saving soldiers' lives, and you know, or whatever I choose to do. I'm probably gonna change my mind 100 times, but I have the security of education behind me from an amazing place, and you know, I'm able to get out of the cycle of poverty that I've lived in for such a long time. My dad was living a life of recidivism. Like, I was able to not follow him or whatever. Like, my mom worked 2 jobs at McDonald's and Walmart, and here I am. My mom never expected this, and so people don't see the huge effect that it brings in the future, but your everyday little, like, just any little help that you give someone, it goes so much farther than what you see, and I think that's important to know, because I don't know where I would be without those little things that everybody did that they thought wouldn't even make an impact, but look at where I am.
So look into those eyes and think about the incredible impacts you make. And you know, for that video, just, you know, we literally just asked them what makes school great for you, and that's not prompted when they focus on teachers over and over and over again and all those little interactions. So thank you very much for that and for what you did for those kids and will for so many this year. So one final topic that I want to address very briefly. Always dangerous to say that in my family. Irish goodbyes at our family parties are never brief. Here's a quick goodbye, and it never is. But I promise you this will be very, very quick. I would like to talk to you about the Brighton Blueprint, again, very quickly. We'll discuss it at faculty meetings and in other smaller formats going forward, but I did want to make a few quick comments and acknowledge the work as well. A few key points about the plan that was developed. It was collaboratively developed, first of all, with a large group of your peers and community members, about 50 people who came together to pull a lot of data together, analyze that, talk through what types of things we'd like for our kids, and determine those as a large group. It's meant to provide K-12 alignment and consistency, and really build on the work that's done in one building to the next, the great practices that happen in each of our schools, and bring focus to that work. It's not all about new, it's really also meant to build upon the past, take the great things that are happening and help those things grow. As the work came together with this large group that I had mentioned, a series of guiding ideas took shape. Things that the group wanted to make sure were a part of the work, a part of the strategies that were developed, any plans that are put together, any kind of committee work. And those that they settled on were that collaboration was very important amongst faculty and students, that real-world authentic experiences within our schoolwork was very important, student choice, personalization, flexibility, and teaching around a passion for learning and a joy for learning was very important. That we should create an environment for risk-taking and make sure we help students understand that mistakes are a part of learning. Help develop attitudes and behaviors around those different mindsets, and be accessible to all, everything that we do accessible to all, very inclusionary, and really focus on this collective responsibility that we all have to make sure that we're including everyone and getting everybody across the finish line. So you might ask, or you might not, but I'm probably still going to tell you, how will all of this work and come together? We're still focused on the priority areas, so we wanted to build on that work. Safety, health and wellness, rigorous coursework for all students, early childhood programming, creativity and innovation, and instructional technology. Then strategies were developed within each of those priority areas, so those were the action items, the things that we're going to be working on. And then later on in the summer, the how those things would be addressed and when they would be addressed were developed by the leadership team. So now we have an annual list of action steps with a clear identification of who will be responsible and a timeline for when each of those strategies will be addressed. It's an enormous amount of work that will take place over several years. And some of them will start this year, some of them the year after, and a few the year after that. But we expect much of that work to be long-lasting and not just flash-in-the-pan kinds of things. We believe that this approach will really help unify us as a district and focus our efforts as a district with how we allocate resources, but how we focus not just financial resources, but the resource of people's time, and stay focused on particular areas of priority. So one last point on this. throughout all of it, and if you've had a chance to read it, I know it was great summertime reading if you had a chance to pick it up, you don't see Common Core, Regents Reform Agenda, or testing mentioned anywhere in the material. And that was never mentioned, that was never directed, that was never part of the discussion with the Blueprint group. It just happened that way. And it was really interesting that when we got to the end of it, that was not at all a part of the discussion. I think that's a lot of who we are, and it's a lot of what was yesterday, that language, but it's not a part of what is tomorrow. So I just thought that was an interesting part of the plan as well. So finally, although I try, I don't think that I can truly put into words what you mean to children. Someone far wiser once said that teaching is the one profession that teaches all of the others. How true is that? Someone else said that a teacher takes a hand, opens a mind, and touches a heart. Thank you for the hands you will take this year, the minds you will open, and the hearts you will touch. Children are so much better for having spent their days with you, and I say that as a dad too. Thank you on behalf of my children and my family. The world and all of us in it will be better off because of all of that, all of what you do. You're heroes in the world for our children. You really are. It will be another great year, and it will be because of you. So thank you, and best wishes for a wonderful year. So we are, I think, incredibly blessed here at Brighton to work so collaboratively with such a supportive Board of Education. They volunteer so much time and are always asking why not instead of why, how can we help, what more can be done, what do people need, and what would be best for our kids. Representing the Board of Education today and often as a passionate advocate on our behalf, Board President Mr. Mark Kakanovich. Thanks.
Good morning and welcome, everybody. It does strike me as I sit as part of the audience and listen this morning, the focus on our children, birth to 12, grade 12, or about 18 years. We enjoy Kevin's children every year, and believe me, that's going to get more exciting as each year passes. But it also does strike me as part of an audience, and many of you are here, with older children, many of you grandchildren, not me yet, but many of you know that I have two daughters. My wife and I, they're 27 and 29, very successfully graduated and educated by many of you in this room through Brighton. And you know, we passed a milestone too earlier this year, which I think is significant to much of the message. Our two daughters, I'm proud to say, are healthy, reasonably happy most of the time, and paying their own bills. And so I think when we focus on so many of the children and the stories that we see, and certainly the poignant story of Ryland and her transition to he, we remember and we reflect back that they're always our kids, and they will always be our kids, and then they will be our grandkids. And so that part of what we do as adults never ends. So it is with great pride the Board of Education welcomes you this morning. I speak this morning on behalf of the entire board, the 7 of us. Julian Gilbert, our vice president, our other board members, Dr. Marv Sachs, Mrs. Martha Scrimamano. A number of our board members are traveling or have work commitments today, Mr. Larry Davis, Mrs. Karen Hatch, and Mrs. Andrea Costanza. So we do welcome you. Kevin did mention some of the changes. A lot of things happened in that short period of time since June. We've lost, many of our friends and colleagues have moved on to their next phases in life. We've also had the opportunity to welcome many new folks. Much of the work that Dr. McGowan outlined in the blueprint work, much of the curriculum and instruction work, that's been busy over the summer. But perhaps most significantly, Brooklyn Joe's Pizza finally opened at Brighton 12 Corners Plaza. And based on the telephone wait times, apparently very successfully. So it again is our pleasure to welcome you. It's an exciting and significant time, not just for the blueprint work, but all of the things that we are able to do in this district because of all of our people. We have significant work ahead on final planning to implement full-day kindergarten and structurally align buildings and decide definitively what we're going to do for space. Certainly the blueprint work, and again, you know, Kevin jokes about summer reading, but if you haven't had a chance, I think it's significant if you would take a look through that, because this is work that's resulted in well over a year's time with every constituent group involved. You know, we spent a lot of time this summer significantly with community members. Many of the folks in this room volunteered time to work on that. And it really is a clear focus in our efforts to continuously grow, improve, and adjust to meet our ever-increasing challenges and needs for our students and for our community. And I also think the Board of Education would convey to you that, you know, while we have become very, very good under our current leadership team and our teacher leadership team of dealing with things that come up on the day-to-day, some of the things that Dr. McGowan mentioned earlier, we're also not in a time of crisis. We are an outstanding place. We're a very unique place. That's the best time to be able to affect much of the change that we want to look toward to make us ever better, ever greater as we move forward in our mission to educate each individual child and work with each individual family. So again, on behalf of the board, we thank you for all that you do every single day in your classrooms and in the athletic venues and in the library and media centers and all the areas that you work with kids. We appreciate that effort, and we bring our hopes for a very healthy, happy, and successful school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We work with the most incredible children that a community can offer. We know that. We experience that each and every year. They are kind, bright, creative, and committed. They are a joy to know and to work with. Our next speaker is certainly no exception. She's a great example of that. Thank you to Allie Thayer for coming in this morning. Please join me in welcoming our BHS Executive Council President, Allie Thayer, to speak to you this morning. It'll be great. Thank you.
All right. Good morning and welcome back. I hope everyone had a great and relaxing summer. I think most of you will agree that it's always a little too short, but school starts in exactly 1 week, so yay. But in all seriousness, we do have a great year coming up, and I know for a fact that kids are excited to come back, even though they'll never admit it. I'm excited because there's a lot of really good stuff coming up this fall. Here at the high school, the student body has been hard at work this summer, preparing for the pep rally and building floats for the homecoming parade. I highly recommend that you come to the parade this year if you can. Kids love seeing their old teachers from past years, and I promise you they do recognize you, even if they don't act like it. So I began my Brighton career in Mr. D's AM kindergarten class back in the fall of 2004. Yeah, long ago. I can still remember my first day of school. I wore a little blue dress with yellow and white flowers, similar to what I'm wearing today. Now, if you have ever met me, you understand that that was the first and the last day that I ever wore a dress to school. But that was the beginning of my Brighton journey, and I do not think that at that time I understood what I was beginning was so special, but as I look back on it, I cannot imagine going to any other school. As I was writing this speech the other day, I struggled to place my finger on exactly what it was about Brighton that made it so special. But then I finally determined that it's the teachers, more specifically, how every teacher makes learning exciting. From the class play in Mrs. Hutter's second grade class, to the colonial American-style taxation of gotchas in Mrs. Higgins' fourth grade class, to the stock market simulation with Mrs. Riviello, to just a year ago in AP Physics, trying to hit Mr. Eck with a tennis ball launched from a cannon in a window 2 stories up. I promise it was the projectile unit. My teachers have made Brighton schools truly wonderful and engaging places to come every day. I could go on and on about lessons over the years that my classmates and I remember like it was yesterday. Literally, last Saturday, the entire girls' soccer team was singing a song we all learned in 3rd grade music class. But not only have teachers made me excited to come to school every day, you have pushed me to be a better student and person, so thank you. Now I admit that I will probably not remember everything that I have been taught, areas surrounding cursive and the Africa map test and are a little rough, and in a few years I might not be able to recite the quadratic formula, but I can promise you that I will never forget 2 things. 1, the Latin America capitals song, the Caracas, Venezuela, you know the song, you've heard it. And 2, the impact that each and every one of you has had on my life. For example, one teacher was my 6th grade English teacher, Mrs. Ring. Throughout the year I spent in her class, I played Scrabble, put on awesome fables, and learned about the English language so thoroughly that I still find myself referring back to her lessons. But what really stuck out to me about Mrs. Ring was how every day she got us to think. I remember always looking forward to English class because I got to talk with Mrs. Ring. She encouraged me to come out of my shell and find my self-confidence that has helped me become who I am today. So thank you. Another teacher that has inspired me is Mr. Bonadonna. I have been fortunate to have him for 2 years as a biology teacher. What I admire about Mr. B is his passion for what he does. He truly loves his work and constantly goes out of his way to enrich his students' lives. I had the opportunity to go on deep experience and mountain bound with him and Mr. Porta over the past few summers, and besides having tons of fun, I've learned how to be a leader myself, how to collaborate with my peers, and how to play euchre. All very important life skills. Mr. B, Mr. Porta, I want a rematch. The teachers that I mentioned are only a few of the many incredible teachers here at Brighton. I could go on and on gushing about my time here, but unfortunately, time does not allow that. So what I want to say is you guys are awesome. You're the reason I love coming to school every day, and on behalf of all my classmates, I want to say thank you. We do appreciate what you do in and out of school, and your unending support for all your students. And so I hope you are, looking forward to a great school year. Thank you.
That was awesome, Allie. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. The Brighton Alumni Association is another great example of what makes this district like no other. Their accomplishments as individuals and collective commitment to their school is unparalleled. Here to welcome you back and express sentiments on those students who came before is Alumni Association leader, Ms. Mary Jane Link.
Talk about opposite ends of the spectrum. I am from the class of 1958. That's 58 years ago I graduated. And I must say, when we get together at our reunions, and our class has remained very close, we still talk about the teachers that we had and remember them fondly and their strengths and their little quirks. But the Brighton Schools Alumni Association, aka BSAA, was founded in 1999 by Pete Heinrich, Pete French, and Bob Lambricks to recognize the heritage of Brighton schools, coordinate and support reunion activities, maintain archival material, and initiate projects that recognize individual and class accomplishments. We have achieved a lot in 17 years. The Hall of Fame may be our most notable project. This was the 11th year, and by now 46 alums have been recognized. They are from all over the country and come in for our dinner at Oak Hill. They are also present at the awards assembly, and some of them teach a few of your classes, and they enjoy them. You can see their photos and their brief bios in the display case across from the gym. Our scholarship began in 2007. This was the 10th year for that. We award $1,500 for each of a student's 4 years in college. And this year we were pleased to give two to Mandy Smith and Benji Herman. It was fun to see Mandy in that video. We keep in touch with the recipients and include their current achievements in our annual newsletter, and I am sure that soon we'll be putting one of them in the Hall of Fame. Adam Hiller and Ben Vick serve on that committee as they are also alums. And this is a good time to ask, and darn it, it's always dark. Would people who have graduated from Brighton stand up? I just am always amazed at how many people come back to be teachers, and I think it's such a credit to the school that so many of you do want to return. I ask that you please encourage students to apply for our scholarship. We always, in the beginning, Pete French taught at MCC, and he thought it would be perfect for kids going to MCC, and nobody's even applied, so have to put in a word for that. Our fund is now over $240,000, depending on our Vanguard investment, and we're hoping to increase it so that we can give $2,500 a year. Each year a student serves on our board, and we hope that they will remain active when they graduate. Our resource center is located in the administration building and is named after Kay Clark, Pete Heinrich's sister, the class of 43, who has put so much time and energy into it. It's now being turned into a conference room, but we still will have some memorabilia. The courtyard garden, which we now hope is pigeon-free. I wasn't supposed to mention that, but I had to. Was a gift from the class of 55, and the sign in front of the school is also a class gift. Our most recent project is on view in the library, and I think it's kind of amazing to recognize the achievements of Pete French. There's a display case with some of his awards, the large collection of books, I think there are well over 100 now, that were written by former Brighton students, and the stunning glass window created by Nancy Gong, who graduated from here in 1974 and is a previous Hall of Fame awardee. For those of you who do not teach at high school, I encourage you to take a look. We are always looking for other ways to contribute to the school and also for younger board members. If you have ideas for projects or are interested in helping us, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary Jane. Also for reminding us again the great impact that the work today has on tomorrow with some pretty impressive alumni who are celebrated each year. So thank you. Once again, we are so fortunate here to work with the finest new team members that a school district could ever hope for. I'm very excited to begin the introductions this morning with our new Director of Health, Physical Education, and Athletics, which makes sense since you've already seen his baby picture. Mr. Nate Merritt was most recently the Vice Principal for grades 9 through 12 at Allendale, Columbia. Prior to that, he spent 5 years as the Director of Physical Education, Health, and Athletics, also at Allendale. He spent 2 years as the Executive Director and Principal of the Summer Leap Program and previously worked as a phys ed teacher in the East Irondequoit Central School District. Nate has extensive experience as a basketball, baseball, and tennis coach at the high school and college levels. He holds a bachelor's degree in physical education from SUNY Brockport and a master's degree in educational leadership from St. John Fisher College. He also has an administrative certification in school building leadership. Nate and his wife Erin, a teacher in Fairport, are the proud parents of 2 small children here in the school district. Their daughter Grace will be in 1st grade at Council Rock this year, and their son is 4 years old and awaiting Council Rock by spending a year at the Rochester Museum and Science Center. Assistant Superintendent for Administration, Mr. Lou Lima, will now introduce a new member of the business office staff. Lou.
Good morning. I am very excited to announce that Dahlia Watts has joined the district as our Director of Finance/Treasurer. She is coming from the Wheatland-Chiley Central School District, where she has served as the District Treasurer since 2005. In this role, she managed all aspects of the school business function. Dahlia is certified as a school district business leader. She holds a bachelor's degree in business administration from RIT and a master's degree in education administration from the University of Buffalo. She also has an advanced certificate in school business and human resource administration from UB. Dahlia is a proud mother of 3, enjoys all outdoor activities, and has lived in 3 different countries, including Jamaica and England. Please join me in welcoming Dahlia. I would now like to introduce the talented Mr. Matt Tappan, Principal of Council Rock Primary School.
Talented? Now what am I supposed to do? I just want to say from Council Rock, Mrs. Treasurer, myself, welcome back to everyone. We have a lot of new staff at Council Rock, and I'm excited to welcome them all. So I will start. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Kimberly Ball. She will be our new counselor at Council Rock. She's coming to us from Chestnut Ridge Elementary School in Churchville, where she has been for the last 5 years. She graduated from SUNY Geneseo with her bachelor's in psychology and communication, and from SUNY Brockport with her master's in school counseling. She and her husband Mitchell, daughter Gwendolyn, who will soon be 2, and their dog Maisie live in Brighton, only about a quarter mile away, so hopefully she walked here today. We welcome Kim to our team. Welcome. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Christine Blosky. She will be our new part-time nurse at Council Rock. She has been at both Strong Memorial and Rochester General Hospitals in the pediatric units, as well as the community pediatric triage. She graduated from University of Rochester with her bachelor's in nursing. She grew up in Victor, but currently splits her time between Fairport and Cayuga Lake. Christine enjoys running, reading, and hiking, and recently hiked the Grand Canyon. We are excited to welcome Christine to our nurse's office and to Council Rock. Next, I'd like to welcome Susan Del Pazzo. She will be our librarian at Council Rock. She's coming to us most recently from Fairport High School, where she just completed a long-term sub position in their library last year. But you may also recognize her as she works in several local libraries in the children's sections. She graduated from SUNY Brockport with her bachelor's in psychology and from the University of Buffalo with her master's in library media studies. She is from Penfield originally, has 4 grown children, and just purchased a very small 450 square foot home on Cape Cod, which if you've been to the Council Rock Library, she will feel right at home there. So we would like to welcome Sue. Next, I'd like to introduce Stephanie Ferreter. Stephanie will be teaching first grade this year at Council Rock. She's coming to us from Arlington, Virginia, where she has been a special educator for the last 5 years. She graduated from SUNY Fredonia with her bachelor's in elementary and special education, and from Geneseo with her master's in early childhood education and literacy. Stephanie is getting married in early October to a Council Rock graduate, so we wish them the best and welcome Stephanie to our team. It's my pleasure to introduce Nicole Hart. She will be a teacher's aide at Council Rock. She just recently graduated from St. John Fisher with her bachelor's degree in childhood education and special education, and is currently enrolled in Nazareth College of Rochester for their graduate program for Educational Technology Specialist. She's a volunteer for the Fairport lacrosse program and has a twin sister who is 5 minutes older than she is. We welcome Nicole to Council Rock. Next, I'd like to introduce Christine Hodgson. She will be a special education teacher at Council Rock. She's coming to us from Mary Carriola Children's Center, where she has been for the last 13 years. She graduated from Nazareth College with her bachelor's in psychology and also received her master's degree from Nazareth in inclusive education. She and her husband Greg live in Penfield with their 5-year-old son Caden, their soon-to-be 1-year-old daughter Mackenzie, along with their dogs Calla and Lucy. We welcome Christine to Council Rock and to Brighton. I'd like to welcome Susanna Ingalls. She will be a 2nd grade teacher at Council Rock this year in a year-long, long-term sub position, filling in for Caitlin Baker. Last year, she was a frequent substitute at Council Rock and finished the year with long-term positions in 2 different 2nd grade classrooms. She graduated from Asbury University in Kentucky with her bachelor's in elementary education with an emphasis on English, and also spent a semester in Oxford studying ethics and English. She and her husband live in Pittsford and love to travel and hike. Welcome to Susanna. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Rachel O'Gorman. She will be a kindergarten teacher at Council Rock for the year in a year-long sub assignment, filling in for Janine Aiello. Again, Rachel was a familiar face at Council Rock as a frequent substitute teacher. She graduated from Nazareth College with her bachelor's in inclusive education, middle education, and history, and also received her master's degree from Nazareth College in education. Rachel loves to go to musicals and concerts as well as travel. Some of her favorite destinations are Ireland, Italy, and England. Welcome, Rachel, to Council Rock. Next, I'd like to introduce Kaylee Shepard. She will be a 1st grade teacher at Council Rock next year as a long-term substitute for Liz Files. She is coming to us from Henrietta, where she has been a long-term substitute for the last 2 years at Winslow Elementary School at both 5th and 2nd grade. She graduated from SUNY Cortland with her bachelor's in childhood education and is a mere 5 classes away from completing her master's degree at St. John Fisher in literacy. She and her fiance Chris currently live in Bloomfield, but just closed on their new house and will be married at the end of October. Welcome to Kaylee. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Crystal Stack. She will be a special education teacher at Council Rock this year in our 12-1-1 classroom at 2nd grade. Last year, Crystal was a long-term substitute for 2 different first grade classrooms and was with us through the whole year. She graduated from Canisius College with both her bachelor's and master's degrees in elementary and special education as well as literacy. She grew up in Spencerport, currently lives in Greece with her German Shepherd. Crystal is one of 6 children in her family, and 4 of her siblings were adopted. We are excited to welcome Crystal back to Council Rock. It's my pleasure to introduce Rachel Van Houten. She will be a teaching assistant at Council Rock. She is coming to us from Penfield Village Nursery School, where she has been a classroom teacher in the 4-year-old room. She graduated from Baldwin Wallace College with her bachelor's degree in elementary education and obtained her master's degree in education from University of New England. She has 2 children, Grace, who is 11, and Ethan, who just turned 13 and is about to head to middle school. We welcome Rachel to our team. And finally, this morning, I would like to welcome Erica Wagner. She will be our part-time reading teacher at Council Rock. She's coming to us from the Wayne Central School District, where she has been for the last 12 years as a 4th grade teacher, a 1st grade teacher, and most recently as a reading teacher. She graduated from SUNY Geneseo with her bachelor's in elementary and special education and received her master's degree from Nazareth College in literacy. She and her husband Jeff live in Penfield with their daughter Ava, who's 4.5, and Lila, who's 2. Erica is an avid sports fan and especially huge Syracuse Orange basketball fan. We welcome Erica to Council Rock and to Brighton. And now it's my pleasure to pass the microphone to Mr. Matt Como, principal at French Road Elementary School.
Thanks, Matt. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Well, I'm pleased to welcome Rachel Affronti to French Road. She's joining our Frez as our new school psychologist. Rachel grew up in Penfield and graduated from Mercy High School. She earned her undergraduate degree in psychology from Geneseo and has her master's and certificate of advanced study from Alfred University. Rachel comes to Brighton from the Hornell City School District, where she's been the school psychologist for grades pre-K through 5 for the last 3 years. Rachel has also spent 6 years as a representative on the New York State Association of School Psychologists. Rachel lives in Lima with her husband Chris and their 1.5-year-old son Camden. She enjoys traveling and golfing and is currently working on her dissertation to earn a doctorate in psychology, researching how extracurricular activities play different roles in student achievement across rural, urban, and suburban settings. Please join me in welcoming Rachel. Emily Cady is the new school counselor at Frez. Emily is originally from Syracuse, but moved to Rochester when she was in high school and is a BHS grad. Emily comes to us from Mercy, where she has been a counselor for the last 2 years. Emily's also been a school counselor in Chicago and in Hamilton, New Jersey. Emily lives in Brighton with her husband, Stephen, and their 3 children. Ellie, who is going into 4th grade at Frez, Charlie, who's a 2nd grader at Council Rock, and Hannah, who is 4 years old and in preschool. Emily and her family enjoy spending time at their family cottage swimming, hiking, kayaking, and water skiing. Emily's an active distance runner and loves the theater. She was an actor before becoming a counselor and was a founding member of the professional improv comedy group Headless Horse in Columbus, Ohio. Please join me in welcoming Emily to Brighton. Callan Joseph is a special education teacher, and she will be teaching the 12-1-4 class at Frez. Callan grew up in Brighton and is a BHS grad. She spent last year as a reading teacher in the Rocky River City School District near Cleveland. Before moving to Cleveland, Callan was a special education teacher at the Mary Cariola Children's Center. Callan enjoys reading, running, and yoga. Callan has been busy not just getting ready for school, but also for her wedding on November 12th. Congratulations, Callan, and welcome back to Brighton. Janice Mix is joining our physical education and health department. She will be teaching health at Frez. Janice is a graduate of Pittsford Mendon High School. After graduation, Janice earned her bachelor's from SUNY Cortland and then a master's from Nazareth College. Janice is certified in K-12 health and physical education. She taught for 10 years in the Pittsford Central School District before leaving the classroom to raise her family. Her 2 sons are now entering 5th and 7th grades in Pittsford. Most recently, Janice served as our summer school physical education teacher at BHS this year. Outside the classroom, Janice enjoys time with her family and friends. She loves hiking and home decorating. She has a passion for photography, and she owns her own photography business. Welcome, Janice. Please join me in welcoming Kelly Sharrow. She is the new literacy coach at Fres. Kelly is originally from Buffalo and has been living in the Rochester area since going to college at St. John Fisher. Kelly started her career in several long-term positions in Palmac and Hilton, teaching 4th, 6th, and 7th grades. She spent the last 6 years as a reading specialist at Churchville Elementary School. While in Churchville, Kelly was an active curriculum writer, served on district and building RTI teams, and was the 4th grade instructional leader. Kelly enjoys reading, taking spinning classes, and spending time with her family, her husband James, their 4-year-old daughter Olivia, their 1-year-old son Charles, and their Boston Terrier Huxley. Kelly is looking forward to fall and all things pumpkin flavored. Welcome, Kelly. And finally, I'd like to introduce Therese White, who is officially joining BCSD as a teacher aide at Council Rock, but she's starting the year substituting as the receptionist and main office secretary at Fres. Therese comes to us from the business world, working most recently at BJ's Wholesale, and prior to that at Wegmans as an administrative assistant. Therese served as a substitute teacher, teaching assistant, teacher aide, and in clerical positions throughout the district last school year as well. Therese expressed in her interview a love for kids and an interest in influencing young people in positive ways. She also shared that she does this in her personal life as a member of a large, active family. Therese has 31 nieces and nephews who she loves spending time with. In her spare time, she enjoys cooking and gardening. She's a lifelong learner, always taking a variety of courses in areas that interest her, including science and nursing. Please join me in welcoming Therese. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Rob Thomas, the principal at 12 Corners Middle School.
Hold your applause, please. I'm so proud. Last week we dropped our youngest daughter off at Canisius College. All 3 Brighton graduates out of the house. Well, 2 of them moved back, so the empty nest isn't quite the dream I had envisioned. But Kevin reminded me that he went to Canisius College. Then he reminded me that he met his wife in a class at Canisius College, Betsy. So I will be commuting from Buffalo this year. I've got a place across from the campus and a new gun collection. It's my pleasure to introduce Sarah Banbury, who will be teaching 6th grade English, language arts, and providing AIS support for students at TCMS this year. Sarah graduated from Fairport High School and then earned her bachelor's in elementary education from Salve Regina University in Rhode Island. Sarah's not really new to us because she was in the same assignment last year, but now we know she's with us for the entire school year. Before coming to Brighton, Sarah worked in a special education inclusion program in Newton, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. You may also know Sarah's mom, Kathy, who left TCMS to teach at Council Rock this year. Sarah lives in Penfield with her black lab, Hank, and enjoys running. Welcome, Sarah. Stacy Kugel will be teaching 7th grade English and AIS at the middle school. Stacy graduated from Holly High School and earned her bachelor's and master's in English from SUNY Brockport. Stacy has been an instructional coach in ELA and social studies for BOCES 2 and Churchville Chili, an ELA 8 teacher at Barker Road Middle School, A.D. Oliver Middle School, and T.C. Armstrong Middle School, and an adjunct faculty member in the Department of English at Nazareth College. Stacy also owned a preschool called Sensational Kids in Fairport for 4 years and lives in Fairport with her husband Kevin, daughter Julia, who is 16, and son Adam, 10. Welcome, Stacy. Suzanne Crowley will be teaching Spanish at TCMS this year. Suzanne was raised in Pittsburgh and graduated from Sutherland High School, then earned her bachelor's in Spanish from Mary Washington University in Virginia and her master's in education from SUNY Brockport. She taught Spanish from 1994 to 97 in Victor, then took time off to raise her kids, not to mention working with her father as an interior house painter. Over the years, she substitute taught every subject at every grade level in Pittsburgh, most recently in Spanish at Barker Road Middle School. Suzanne and her husband Harry, a BHS graduate, have 2 children, Mary, a junior at Pittsford Mendon, and Matt, a sophomore at St. John Fisher College. Welcome, Suzanne. Kendra Lamb is our newest music teacher at TCMS and will be directing our 6th grade band. Kendra graduated from Niskayuna High School and went on to earn her bachelor's in music education from SUNY Potsdam. She taught 6th grade band and lessons in the Middletown Enlarged City School District for the last 3.5 years. She enjoys playing tennis, the French horn, and happens to have an identical twin sister. Welcome, Kendra. Adrian Lonnie will be teaching 8th grade social studies for us this year. Adrian graduated from Palmac High School and then earned her bachelor's in adolescent education with a concentration in social studies from SUNY Fredonia and her master's in reading and literacy from SUNY Geneseo. Most recently, she taught 8th grade social studies at Berger Middle School in Rush Henrietta, but has also had long-term assignments in Fairport and even at TCMS. She is an avid reader and enjoyed her experience on the dance team while attending Fredonia. Welcome, Adrian. Lacey Liebenau will be teaching 6th grade math at 12 Corners. She graduated from Rush Henrietta High School and earned her bachelor's in education and her master's in literacy education from SUNY Geneseo. For the last 8 years, she taught 6th grade at Palmyra Macedon Middle School. When her family isn't visiting Disney World, she's been there about 25 times. She and her husband Rob are busy raising their 2 girls, Molly, age 2, and Claire, age 1, in the town of Farmington. Welcome, Lacey. Mackenzie Lowe will be a one-on-one teaching assistant at 12 Corners this year. She earned her associate's degree from MCC in liberal arts and history. She truly enjoys working with students of all ages and has been a counselor in the before and after school programs for the Town of Chili Recreation Department and been both a substitute teacher and a substitute teaching assistant in the Gates Chili and Holly Central School Districts. Mackenzie also shared that she has a great love for the music of the Beatles and especially their song, Blackbird. Welcome, Mackenzie. Carolyn Mabb will be a teaching assistant at 12 Corners Middle School this year. She earned her associate's degree from MCC and in recreational leadership and her bachelor's degree from SUNY Brockport in therapeutic recreation. Carolyn has a great deal of experience working with children and has worked as a creative movement instructor at the Penfield Village Nursery and most recently as a nanny. Carolyn enjoys playing soccer and has played in both a fall and spring women's league for 30 years. Welcome, Carolyn. Hannah Morris will be teaching 8th grade English this year at the middle school. Hannah grew up in Chili, New York, and graduated from Gates Chili High School. She earned her bachelor's in childhood education with a concentration in English from SUNY Fredonia and is currently working on her master's in special education through Roberts Wesleyan College. She began her teaching career last year as a middle school English teacher in the small town of Friendship, New York, where she was responsible for grades 6 through 9, but chose to return to Rochester in order to be surrounded by her family and friends. In addition to teaching, she enjoys reading, exercising, tackling creative projects, and spending quality time with her family. Welcome, Hannah. Patrick Newby will be a one-on-one teaching assistant at 12 Corners Middle School this year. Patrick earned his associate's degree from Mohawk Valley Community College in criminal justice, but is a true Renaissance man in that he has been a Marine Patrol Officer, Correction Officer, Emergency Medical Technician, and Teacher's Aide. Patrick is in his 4th year of coaching youth soccer for the West Rondequoit Soccer Club and in his 20th year of being involved in youth theater. Welcome, Patrick. Shannon Times will be teaching 7th grade math at TCMS. Shannon is a BHS graduate and earned her bachelor's in math and her master's in secondary math education from Hobart William Smith College. Shannon most recently taught at Victor Junior High and before that was a substitute in a number of math assignments in Brighton. Shannon has coached the Brighton track team for 7 years and cross-country team, which is in full swing this season, for the last 2 years. She lives in Rochester with her family and has a twin sister, Shayna, who is teaching math in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome, Shannon. And finally, Lindsay Youngs will be a teaching assistant in the PATH program at 12 Corners Middle School. She earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Keuka College, and prior to coming to Brighton, worked as an office manager and a family support worker at Kinship Family and Youth Services. Outside of school, Lindsay enjoys spending time with her chunky English bulldog that she rescued 3 years ago. Welcome, Lindsay. Now, please welcome our high school principal, Dr. Tom Hall, who will introduce the new high school staff.
Morning, everybody, and welcome back. Jessica Abelson will join the special ed staff this year teaching ICT math and resource room. Jessica is a Pittsburgh Sutherland graduate, completed her undergrad at Western New England University, and then returned to Rochester to attend Nazareth College. Jessica's worked as a long-term substitute for nearby districts and most recently in the Spencerport School District. Additionally, she coaches field hockey at Pittsburgh Sutherland and also works with the area players doing youth Olympic development through USA Field Hockey. She's the youngest of three, and her family mostly lives in Rochester. She has a 5-year-old nephew with whom she spends a lot of time. If she's not teaching, coaching, or doing something field hockey related, she's probably with a family members or friends and trying to improve her golf game. Welcome, Jessica. Jill Bowler. Jill is joining the special ed staff this year as a TA in the high school testing lab. Jill most recently worked as an administrative assistant at Regent Financial Group and has also worked as an associate director at MCC in addition to substituting in Brighton. Jill graduated from Brighton High School and then went on to earn her undergraduate degree from Syracuse University. Jill's married and has 2 daughters, Emily, a BHS sophomore, and Sarah, a 2016 graduate. She enjoys hiking in local parks with her black lab and the rest of the family. She also loves gardening, cooking, traveling, and riding horses. Welcome, Jill. Karen Deans will be joining us in the BHS Science Department and will be teaching at our alternative high school. Karen grew up in Sullivan County, New York, and attended Delaware Valley Central Schools. After high school, she attended SUNY New Paltz and obtained a BA in biology and a master's of art in teaching. Karen has 10 plus years of teaching experience, including 9 years as a science teacher in Monticello Central Schools. Karen moved to Rochester about a month ago. She has 1 daughter, Megan, who is a sophomore, and a dog named Dino. In her spare time, Karen enjoys reading, kayaking, canoeing, and spending time outdoors. Welcome, Karen. Elena High is joining the Foreign Language Department this year, teaching Spanish at the high school and at our alternative high school. Elena has previously taught at West Irondequoit for 10 years and more recently completed a long-term sub-position in East Rochester and Marion. She completed her undergrad at Union College and then attended graduate school in Middlebury College in Vermont. Elena lived with a family in Cuernavaca, Morelos, Mexico for 1 year as part of her graduate program, and at Middlebury College she studied a year abroad in Madrid, Spain, absorbing and enjoying the language and culture. She currently lives in Pittsburgh, where she also grew up with her husband Dave and their 4 children. Elena enjoys hiking with her family and 2 dogs, along with spending time at Keuka Lake in the summer and skiing in the winter. Welcome, Elena. Jennifer Clare will be joining us in the BHS Social Studies Department and will be teaching at our alternative high school. Jennifer grew up in Victor and graduated from Victor High School. After high school, she attended SUNY Cortland and obtained a BA in Secondary Social Studies. Jennifer then attended SUNY Brockport and obtained her Master's in Social Studies. Jen has 14 plus years of teaching experience, including 10 years in Social Studies at Wayne High School. Jennifer lives in Webster. She's lived there for the past 14 years and has 2 boys. Jackson 11 is starting middle school and Patrick 9 starting 4th grade. She also has a golden retriever named Buddy. In her spare time, she enjoys running, participating in triathlons, and reading. Welcome, Jennifer. Nicole Manosi is joining the special ed staff this year as a 1-to-1 TA at BHS. Nicole earned a BS in English and a minor in education at SUNY Brockport and is currently working towards an MS in education from SUNY Brockport. She's a duly certified teacher in English and students with disabilities, grades 7-12. Nicole currently works as a lead teacher at Doodlebugs Children's Center. Nicole began growing up with her family in Spencerport and then spent the second half of her childhood in Greece, where she graduated from Greece Olympia. She has a dog and a kitten, and she considers her children, enjoys spending time with her family, and loves going to cookouts on her spare time. Welcome, Nicole. Mary Simoncelli is joining the BHS Math Department this year. Mary graduated from SUNY Cortland in 2014 with her bachelor's in adolescent math education. Mary's just recently completed her master's in literacy education at SUNY Geneseo. She spent the 15-16 school year at Rush Henrietta teaching math, and she's really looking forward to coming to Brighton. Mary noted that she has wanted to be a math teacher since the 10th grade, thanks to a wonderful teacher she had in school. Mary is an Eagles fan, but grew up in Hamburg, New York, right near the new Buffalo Bills New Era Stadium. Mary's the oldest of 3 children, one brother 2 years younger and one 13 years younger, going into 6th grade. Mary loves to read, run, draw, and paint. Welcome, Mary. Brian Slocum has joined the math department as well. Brian was raised in Irondequoit, New York, and graduated from East Ridge High School in 2003. His AP Physics teacher was Brad Allen, who teaches here at BHS. Brian attended St. John Fisher College immediately after high school and graduated in the spring of 2007 with a BS in math and minor in physics. Brian decided to return to St. John Fisher to pursue his teaching certification and completed that in the spring of 2013. Brian's worked in the Rochester City School District, Rochester Academy Charter School, and taught 7th through 12th grade. Some of Brian's favorite hobbies outside of education include attending live concerts, playing and recording music, running, collecting, and reading graphic novels. Welcome, Brian. And Sarah Starr. We're pleased to welcome Sarah to our attendance office this year. After graduating from East Meadow High School in Long Island, Sarah went on to earn her degree in elementary ed through the University of Florida and a master's in early child education from Temple University. She has since taught kindergarten and preschool in the Rochester area. When not spending time with her husband Andrew and 2 sons, Evan and Seth, Sarah enjoys reading and crafting. Welcome, Sarah. And I have the pleasure, I believe, of introducing our last teacher, Erin Conway, who will be working at the high school and at Council Rock. She grew up in Attica, New York, and graduated from Attica High School. After high school, she attended MCC and started her physical education degree. She continued her physical education degree at SUNY Brockport and most recently finished her master's in adaptive physical education in Brockport. Erin has been teaching both in the public and private sector for the last 6 years in the Letchworth Central School District and Allendale, Columbia. When Erin is not at school, she enjoys the outdoors, especially biking, hiking, and traveling, and a few of her favorite trips have been to Costa Rica, Montreal, and the Dominican Republic. Welcome, Erin. Back to Dr. McGowan.
Just a brief thank you very much to the principals, and again, welcome to all of our new team members. They are the very best that we could ask for, and they are joining the very best that any community could ask for. Just a brief housekeeping reminder and a thank you. I don't believe, very sincerely, that any other superintendent can or would say this at this point every year, and I really mean it from the heart. Our collective relationship between the district and each of the bargaining units is just incredibly important, and it is incredibly close and valuable. We're very grateful for the ability to work collaboratively, warmly, and in a manner that balances the needs that our staff has with the needs the children have, and our mutual goals of doing everything we can to be focused on children. So personally, thank you to Judy Wagman for being both a tireless advocate for your colleagues, but also for Brighton as a school district. You represent that special nature of the BTA so well, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work alongside you and your colleagues. So thank you for that, Judy. Colleagues, kids will never get this year back. Thank you for helping them make the most out of it, and in turn, changing their lives for the better forever. You are Brighton, and you are excellence. Good luck, and have our best year yet. Thank you.